Good morning. With you today, Mrs. Rania Anwar, for covering Lesson 4 Geometry for Prep 1, the congruence. What's the meaning of congruence? Two figures are congruent if they are fit exactly on top of each other. If you look to the mirror, the image of you will be congruent to you. That means the congruence. We can say two books are congruent if they are the same size and the same number of pages and the same color, are the same in everything. That's the meaning of congruence. Now, firstly, the congruency of two line segments. As we studied before, the line segment has a length, so the two line segments are congruent if they are equal in length. We can say if length of AB equal length of CD, then AB line segment is congruent to CD line segment, and this is the symbol of congruence, 3 dashes. Okay, let's move to slide number 3. Congruence of two angles. Two angles are congruent. The angle has a measure, so we can say two angles are congruent if they are equal in measure. Don't say acute angle is congruent to obtuse angle, and also two acute angles are congruent if they have the same measure. So here we can say if measure of angle A equals measure of angle B, then angle A is congruent to angle B. Let's move to slide number 4. Two polygons. What's the meaning of polygon? Polygon is a closed shape formed from 3 line segments or more. So we can say two quadrilaterals are congruent if they satisfy two conditions. If each side of each angle in the first polygon is congruent to its corresponding elements in the other polygon. All sides in the first polygon are congruent to the corresponding sides in the other polygon, and all angles in the first polygon are congruent to their corresponding angles in the other polygon. So in the opposite figure, we have two polygons, A, B, C, D, E, and the polygon X, Y, M, N, L, where AB equal XY, BC equals YZ, CD equals ZM, DE equals ML, and EA equals LX. Each side in the first polygon is equal to the corresponding side in the second polygon, and also the second condition, measure of angle A equal measure of angle X, measure of angle B equal measure of angle Y, measure of angle C equal measure of angle Z, measure of angle D equal measure of angle M, and measure of angle E equal measure of angle L. So the two polygons satisfy the two conditions, so the two polygons are congruent. We can say the polygon ABCDE is congruent to the polygon XYZML. Let's move to slide number 5. We have a remark very important for you. When we write two congruent polygons, we must name the two polygons in the same order of their vertices, the corresponding vertices. If we say triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ, that means A corresponds to X, B corresponds to Y, C corresponding to Z. Let's move to slide number 6. What's the meaning of axis of symmetry of the polygon? The axis of symmetry is a line which divides the shape or the polygon into two congruent polygons. So here in the opposite figure, AB is the axis of symmetry of the polygon CGAYXB, and it divides it into two congruent polygons. The polygon ABCG is congruent to the polygon ABXY. Let's move to slide number 7. We have an example, we want to solve it. The polygon BRAKE is congruent to the polygon CHOKE. Then complete. CH is corresponding to what? We can get it from the figure or from the name of the polygon. CH is the first two symbols in the second polygon. They correspond to the first two symbols in the first polygon. Yes, PR. And HO equals, HO is corresponding to what? It corresponds to RA. CE equals what? CE is corresponds to BE. KO equals what? Equals KA. And KE is a common side which is common in the two polygons. The common side, that means is a side in the first polygon and is also a side in the second polygon. Then measure of angle C equals measure of angle what? C is corresponds to angle B, and measure of angle H is corresponds to measure of angle R, and measure of angle KEC is corresponds to measure of angle KEB, and finally measure of angle O is corresponding to measure of angle A. Let's move to slide number 8. Complete the following. Two line segments are congruent if, what is the condition to be two line segments are congruent? If they are equal in length. Number 2, two angles are congruent. What is the condition? If they are equal in measure. Number 3, two polygons are congruent if there is a correspondence between their vertices, such that each what and each what, each angle and each side in the first polygon is congruent to its corresponding element in the other polygon. Number 4, the axis of symmetry of a polygon divides it into two congruent polygons. Number 5, if we have the line segment AB is congruent to the line segment CD, that means length of AB equals length of CD. Number 6, if AB line segment congruent to XY line segment, then the length of AB minus the length of XY. If the two line segments are congruent, they are equal in length. If AB is 4 cm, that means XY is 4 cm. So the difference between them will be 0. 4 minus 4 equals 0, or any length other. 5 equals 5, 5 minus 5 equals 0. Let's move to slide number 9. Complete the following. If angle A is congruent to angle B, a measure of angle A equals 50 degrees. That means the measure of angle B equals also 50 degrees because they are congruent, they have the same measure. Number 8, if angle A supplements angle B, that means measure of angle A plus measure of angle B equals 180. And angle A is congruent to angle B, that means they are equal in measure. So each angle of them, measure of angle B, will be 180 divided by 2 equals 90 degrees. Number 9. If angle A complements angle B, complementary angles, that means the sum of their measures equals 90. And angle A is congruent to angle B, that means they are equal in measure. So the measure of each angle, measure of angle A will be 90 divided by 2 equals 45 degrees. If C is the midpoint of AB line segment, what's the meaning of midpoint? In the middle, at the middle of AB. So it divides AB into two equal segments. AC line segment will be congruent to BC line segment. Number 11. If the polygon ABCG is congruent to the polygon XYZL, then DA line segment congruent to DA is corresponding to what? To LX. We must know the order of the vertices. Number 12. The two squares are congruent if all squares have right angles. So the other condition will be the length of their sides. So two squares are congruent if their sides are equal in length. And the two rectangles are congruent. All rectangles have right angles. So the other condition is their dimensions. What's the meaning of their dimensions? Dimensions means length and width must be are equal in length. Let's move to slide number 10. In the opposite figure, the two pentagons shown are congruent. Complete. B corresponds to, from the figure, B corresponds to R. The polygon BLACK is congruent to the polygon. We take the order of the vertices. We take each vertex with the corresponding vertex. So B corresponds to R, L corresponds to O, A corresponds to H, C corresponds to E, and K corresponds to S. So we can say the polygon BLACK is congruent to the polygon ROHES. Number 3. What is the length of BK? We say BK corresponds to RS. So RS 4 centimeters, that means BK equals 4 centimeters. Number 4, measure of angle E equal measure of angle E corresponds to C. Number 5, CA equals what centimeter? CA is corresponding to EH, it will be 5 centimeter. And finally, measure of angle A equal measure of angle H. Let's move to the last slide, slide number 11. We have another example. In the opposite figure, if DC line segment perpendicular to BC line segment, as we said before, two perpendicular lines form a right angle, it's measure 90 degrees. A measure of angle ADC equals 120 degrees. Measure of angle BCX equals 65 degrees. And the polygon ABCG is congruent to the polygon XCBY. Complete the following. Number 1, AB corresponds to what? AB is corresponding to CX. Number 2, XY is corresponding to what? To AG. Number 3, CG is corresponding to BY. And BC is a common side between the two polygons. Measure of angle Y equals measure of angle Y equal measure of angle G equal 120 degrees. Number 6, measure of angle A. measure of angle A equal measure of angle X equals 85 degrees. Number 7, measure of angle ABC. Measure of angle ABC equal measure of angle XCB equal 65 degrees. And finally, number 8, measure of angle YBC equals measure of angle DCB equals 90 degree. Thank you for listening and see you soon.